It's out of the movie right there.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome to the October 27th Town Council meeting. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, which I have no corrections to. So,
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the agenda as published.
Second that.
moved by Councilman Swafford, second by Councilman Loftus to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item are the minutes from the October 13th regular Town Council meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes of the October 13, 2025 regular Town Council meeting with amendments to specify that we approved access off of Parr Avenue and also to include a provision that Ed stated, and I'd like to discuss this after a second for clarity.
I'll second for discussion, I guess, right?
Okay, moved by Councilman Boyce, seconded by Councilman Swafford to approve the minutes with an addition or an amendment
Yeah.
to be discussed with the attorney.
So I'm not sure how we're going to address this because the motion is recorded in the minutes, and the way that the motion is worded, I went back and listened to it, and it's correct in the minutes. However, all of our discussion had been that we needed to allow access off of Parr Avenue, and that wasn't specified in the motion. And I went back through and listened, and I wrote down some times. So the discussion that pertains to that starts around 20 minutes into the recording. At 26:16, the mayor recapped specifying legal access off of Parr Avenue. At 30 minutes, this is another thing that is not specifically in the minutes, but Mr. Wells stated that the applicant will grant a 30-foot wide strip of dedicated access to the town as an easement off of Parr Avenue, but also that part's in the minutes, but the part that isn't is that they would also do a 30 by 40-foot rectangle easement on Country Club Lane. And then the motion.
Go ahead.
I thought that was secondary.
The motion that was made by Councilman Swafford begins around 36:50 in the time. And it starts with Abe reading the staff requirements, which is where I think things got a little confusing, just which ones still applied and which ones didn't. And so that motion by Councilman Swafford starts at 39 minutes. And then after that, after we've gone through all of the specifics of what was in Abe's report, what he wanted specified, we never actually said that access would be off of Parr Avenue in the motion. So I don't know how we fix that.
It's not that difficult because you're not being more restricted. If you were saying, oh, by the way, we forgot to put this in there, we probably have to have another hearing.
Okay.
But in this case, you're making it less restricted because you're giving them an additional access. So I think you could just, a motion needs to be made tonight at some point, whether countdown business or whatever, that the preliminary plat provision, preliminary approval of the amended plat be modified to add an access off of Parr Avenue.
Okay.
You're giving them more instead of trying to take something away. So.
Okay, so this other one might be more restrictive though, because at the end, after the motion was made and seconded, Ed specified that we needed to include provisions that this is a preliminary plat approval. That's at 40:45 on the time. And we agreed to that, but it's not in the minutes. So as long as, I mean, we did agree to it. So I would guess that's still part of it just is an amendment to the minutes.
Because it took place.
Yes, because you could only do a preliminary plat approval because there were conditions that had to be met, improvements had to be made. Another plat.
Right.
I think we could just amend the minutes.
Okay.
To add that, but the other should be done by motion because you're actually changing.
Okay.
You're granting them a day, right?
So then my motion should be amended to include the provision that Ed made, that this is a preliminary plat approval. And then we will address the other part later. Do you want that like in council concerns or something?
No,
Or
we can do it under.
So the other one's the access off of Park Avenue.
yes.
I think it's covered in the motion that's documented in the minutes. The dedication of a 30-foot public right-of-way along the eastern edge of Parr takes care of it.
But I think the issue is to allow them to access off of Park Avenue.
But it's a public right of way.
As a possible address, I think.
But dedicating it to the town, I would certainly address something off of a public right-of-way.
But don't, we already own half of the road, which I don't know if it was clear in the meeting last week. The half of the road is down the middle of the road and one side of it. It's not like cut off, north and south end. So I just thought, given the fact that this particular address has some issues in the record, I thought it would be better to have it clearly stated of what exactly we're granting. So.
Since there was some minutes research having to be done to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair.
Since there wasn't a recorded plat and, all the things, so.
So is that your motion to amend that?
Yes, that was my motion to amend that. I do want to make it
Will be
clear.
amended to reflect access off of Parr Avenue.
Yes, and I want to make it clear that none of this was the fault of Amy or Tyler or anybody.
No, we talked about
It was just, we just missed stating it specifically in that.
You just want it clearer than.
All
Got
right,
it.
so the motion has been amended to include the access off of Parr Avenue. You were second to that.
I will
You're
still
second to that
Yep.
motion. So the motion is to approve the minutes as amended.
Mhm.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Let us then, just for the
Go
sake
back
of
and
being,
re-amend.
make a motion to amend it and
Yep.
create F4.
Yep. I move that we go back and amend the agenda to add an F4 to cover the Swingers Green addition. Preliminary plat, yeah.
I'll second that.
All right, so now it's been moved by Councilman Swafford to amend the agenda to add F4 to specify the Swingers Green as a preliminary plat amended pad. So it will be for preliminary plat. That's hard to say.
Yes.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Actually carries 5-0. You get it in your head.
I got
Next thing
stuck
you know,
with
you
it. Yeah, I was like,
The preeminent.
Yeah, it's
I can't even
fine.
say it wrong.
wait
We'll get a chance later.
Can't say it
in
wrong.
other words.
Practice. But I hear it on the minutes now. All right, next item is citizen concerns. Well,
Just curious about the old town hall lights.
Hmm?
Are those poles, going to be for lights?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. We're putting lights up and then those poles look really good. Well done to staff. They're straight, they're solid.
Spencer has started the rumor that we are creating a lightning collection facility.
Renewable energy.
Helps with the blackouts.
Yes, so we're moving forward on our urban park and that's going to be phase 2, I guess, when the fence is going to move further back. We will no longer lease that back third to the outfitters and then they're also putting in electrical outlets for the food trucks as well. So we'll have lights, we'll have electrical outlets. Eventually there will be a big restroom, big pine tree is what I've heard now.
Pergolas.
A pergola, so that's what I wanted. Thank you.
The P words.
And lights, Christmas lights, or stringed lights, so that it looks attractive.
And ice cream.
Yeah, I've heard people say they're really excited about it, so. Are you nodding your head?
I'm very happy.
Excellent. Max?
Sure.
Let it be noted that the citizens of Pinedale are excited about a new urban park. All right.
Approved.
This mayor's lease does close at the end of this week, so some of that work south
Yeah,
with the fence and moving can start happening after the end of this.
perfect. All right, any other citizen concerns? Spencer, you look down. Got anything? Chelsea? Okay. Okay. That's a good thing. Otherwise, you'd be from that. Council, any council concerns? All right. Well, that was very simple. All right, next item, our visiting delegation. Sheriff Lair, our favorite sheriff in the state of Wyoming.
Mr. Mayor, council members. So I'll start off the law enforcement report for September, very similar to our report as far as numbers go. One thing that I did want to point out, we're working with Michelle, Town Animal Control. We are seeing a lot more abandoned animals, specifically kittens and a few dogs. We've got several new deputies, and so we're working out some paperwork that wasn't getting filled out and just notifications. So she's aware of that. Upcoming events, I know you're aware of the Blue Spruce sighting hearing tomorrow, and hope you have a representative for that in the afternoon. Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'll see you there. And then also kind of the Trick or Treat Street. So I've already been contacted by several business owners, and also the the Chamber of Commerce helping out with that. So.
And we'll have town staff helping with that.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Easy peasy. Any questions from council? Yeah, Suffolk County is gonna, all the Suffolk County agencies are gonna be in LaBarge tomorrow afternoon. So,
Quite a few.
yeah, be a good time. Hopefully they'll just go quickly and they'll nod their head. Abe's concerned. It looks like it's gonna be like big cross-examinations.
Oh,
It's very formal.
attorneys, are you gonna wear a tie? Yeah.
Are you? I guess I will now.
I don't plan.
I wasn't planning on it, but I will now, now that I've been asked about it. All right, next item is the consent agenda. This is the Stockman Saloon Steak,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
temporary use permit application for the outdoor activities during Green River Rendezvous on July 10th. Just to put that clear, they are way ahead of schedule. Next item is the DBT Transportation Navaid Support and Maintenance Contract. Pretty straightforward. That's a big part.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as published.
Great.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman, Casiba, and seconded by Councilwoman Boyce to approve the consent agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, next item is other town business. First up is the deed restrictions for Redstone 9th edition. This is lots 1 through 4 and 12. And it should be very similar to the one that we did previously, but specific to the 14.
14.
We'll let you go ahead. It should be like lot 14. Okay, it's been confusing because there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have a lot 14, and you're like, are we doing 1 through 4 again? No, it's lots 1 through. So.
And on that deed restriction, the specific one for that lot also says 12, so that will need to be
Amended.
amended as well.
Abe, you want to say anything more since we've already done this once, but has anybody got questions, or Abe, you want to say anything?
This follows the general outline that we did with Chauncey. It just happens to apply to more units instead of just one. They're broken down by lot, which as opposed to an overall project, so the individual apartment house units can be sold to an individual right down the line. This would follow the land, so it would still be binding.
I think everybody remembers we did do the amendment to allow them to put 6 units on a lot as opposed to 5. So the 6th unit becomes the affordable housing unit. One of the 6.
Yeah.
So that way.
Mr. Mayor, this does complete, if approved tonight, this would complete the variance, the conditional variance approval, or we could issue the variance.
And the building.
Issue the new permits here.
Yep. So the staff will be issuing the building permit after we approve this.
After it takes it to the courthouse and records it against.
All right, so I would need a motion to approve the deed restrictions for Redstone 9th edition lots 1 through 4 and 14 with a note that lot 12 would be amended to reflect 14.
I move that we approve the deed restrictions restricting the rentable value of one unit in each apartment unit to be constructed on lots 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4, and lot 14 of the Redstone 9th edition to the town of Pinedale between the town of Pinedale and Corona Investment Group LLC, and amending the paperwork for lot 14, which it currently says lot 12.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Boyce, second by Councilman Casiba, to approve the deed restriction restricting the rentable value of one unit in each of the apartment units to be constructed on lot 1, 2, 3, 4, and 14 of the Redstone 9th edition between the town of Pinedale and Corona Investment Group, also reflecting change on lot 12 to be 14 instead. Any further discussion? This makes 6 or 7 now, right?
7.
7.
7 units.
3 for Chauncey's and 4 here, right?
2 for Johnson.
Yeah, 2 and 5 there. All right, if you're hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Oh, F2, lead and copper service. Right, there's no action, but Spencer is going to tell us about lead and copper.
We're just providing an update. You probably remember from this time last year, we're preparing to send out our notifications to the properties that we have not identified, positively identified the service line material. And that requirement is an annual, we have to, until we've identified the service line material, we have to send a notification annually. So as we prepare to do that, we thought this would be a good time just to provide an update of what we've done in the last year, where we're at now, and then moving forward. And so on the update, you'll see the numbers from 2024 to 2025. The total number of service lines went up. That primarily be new service connections in Pronghorn, Trails Creek, Split Diamond, scattered throughout town as well. But that's the increase there. There may be a few that are captured in that we just through records research. Also, like they were existing, but we didn't have them categorized on the spreadsheet. And then you'll see we went from 131 unknowns to 82, and that would be through that identification was continued records research and just a few that we did field verification, but the vast majority of that was just digging around and finding further as-builds or records construction projects that allowed us to identify both sides of the line. As a reminder, a lot of these, the reason that it's listed as an unknown, we have a verification either from an as-built or a rehab project or from a meter installation. We know what it is from the curb stop into the house or from the cork stop to curb stop. But the EPA requires that we identify both portions of the line, and if one side is unknown, we have to list the entire thing. So we did reduce by about 50, and then as the galvanized, we went from 3 to 2. We were able to, one house, it's a trailer house, there's some galvanized plumbing under the house, and so we had initially, in an effort to be, I guess I would say out of an abundance of caution, we had identified it as galvanized, but that was what is considered premise plumbing, just the materials under the house, but the service line itself, we literally went under there and dug a little bit with a little plastic shovel and found the copper that's going vertically down to the ground. That's the service line. And that's what the EPA is concerned about. So that's what we identified. So we went from 3 to 2 as galvanized, and we still have shockingly no lead service lines identified in the town of Pinedale. And so With that, and also some discussions with the EPA since last year. We have received permission to send one mailing this year. If you remember last year, they were uncomfortable with us sending our own information with the mailing. And we received permission to do that. So we will be sending out to those 82, one still listed as unknown, a mailer, just one this year, which is what you see after that update, with some information trying to explain the background and the fact that while we've not positively identified the service line, we've not found any lead, and some resources for them. And then at the end of that is the EPA's required notice that we will send as well. And so with that, I guess, well, and the last thing I guess I would point out at the end of the update is just some deadlines that we internally as a staff are trying to keep our eye on. That is a few years out with our next submission to the EPA's 2027. So while we're continuing to identify things, we don't submit that to the EPA until 2027. In fact, we were asked not to submit anything further until then, even though we've identified more. And then there's in 2034 this inventory validation, and I don't really have good information on what that's going to look like because the EPA does not. They don't have great information yet. We're caught in that spot again, like we typically are with things with the EPA, where because we are directly regulated by the EPA, they are pretty slow in developing the regulations because they're kind of waiting on federal guidance, whereas states will create their own guidelines pretty quickly. So as we understand more about that, we will prepare as best as we can, but we're, as far as, and that validation 2034 is just the EPA determining there's a certain percentage of things we already identified as known and having to revalidate that. And so that's something we'll prepare for as we're able to. But any questions you have on the update or our mailer for this year?
Good job. Thank you.
Gracie has done the vast majority of this work, and so a lot of kudos go to her in keeping this moving, and just a lot of it is pretty challenging work of just digging through as-built, looking for the information to categorize what service lines we put in. So she's put in a tremendous amount of very tedious work to get us where we are. So.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add a little bit of next steps for Spencer. About a quarter of these 82, there's about 20 service lines that are underneath Pine Street that we are not planning to determine if they're copper or lead or anything of the matter, because we were planning to just replace them with the 2028 highway project. Those are the ones that keep springing leaks. So that's going to take around 25% of these off the list. That'll be in our action plan that we submit in 2027. The other item is the state has a pool of it's over $50 million available for lead and service that no one in the state has accessed yet because no one knows what they're quite supposed to do yet. It's from the last 2 fiscal years. They're asking, and they have qualified exploration of lead service lines as a qualifying item in that funding. That IUP is due in December. So our staff is preparing an action plan to identify the remaining 60-ish service lines and what it would take to use our hydrovac trucks, staff time, et cetera, and to see if that's something we can bite out and receive funding to reimburse our staff for the discovery of those lines. And so I will be presenting that to you guys at some point in November.
That was something we learned at that DEQ conference we were at a couple weeks ago. Good. Helpful. So hopefully by this time next year, we'll be down to just about Pine Street, ones under Pine Street. Hopefully about all we have left there.
Nice.
For round one.
For round one.
Was that the culprit in the one out front of the alley next to the corral?
So next to the corral is a copper service line. It's clearly frozen, broke multiple times. I had 3 fittings underneath the ground.
Okay.
It's only buried 4 feet, 10 inches. I measured the top of that service line. The main is at 6.5 feet. The service line comes straight up, comes off the main and comes straight up, and it's buried at 4 feet, 10 inches. Whoever installed that service line just didn't care, didn't make it a priority, whatever the case may be. The contractor was able to pull that service line kind of like they did Councilman Loftus's, went a little smoother than Councilman Loftus's. Not great, still didn't look great, but it went a little better. And it's now a poly line, but that copper was in pretty bad shape, had multiple leaks. But judging by the backfill material, they were witnessing multiple rocks buried on the pipes, multiple pinch points, multiple freezes and breaks. That service line was installed very quickly.
Oh, I'm glad they have a good one.
Yeah, it's average. It'll get replaced at points.
Stop it.
Because they pulled it, it's still very shallow. So you can't fix the installation depth until the highway project, but the contractor didn't want to rip out the awning and curb and gutter and sidewalk and all that stuff. And so that's where it's at.
Makes sense.
We have recommended they run a bleeder this year.
All
All right, good job. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Gracie, if she ever watches this. All right, next item is F3 Pathway Connectivity Phase 1 Award. We're happy to announce that we have been awarded this funding, but hey, go for it.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is the Phase 1 project, which is starting at the library, heading south to American Legion, Boyd Skinner Park, and then heading west through Boyd Skinner, replacing the existing pathway with an 8-foot lit pathway across Harmony Bridge all the way up to American Legion Park at the intersection of Lincoln Avenue. They have granted us this funding, and they will be following it up closely with a contract that's at the Attorney General's office right now for review and signature. And this is the exciting Phase 1 piece of the project. They will say they have implemented a pretty strict deadline. They are tasked with spending their money a little more efficiently and timely. And so they have set a schedule, a preliminary schedule before us as staff came to town meet this. And that schedule would require getting NEPA finalized this summer and then getting all the contract bid documents. They do not want to see us bid until October, November of this fall so that they can get good bid values instead of trying to rush and bid when the funds become available in March, April, like they did in the past. So the construction can take place in the summer of 2027. And that's what they are promoting and asking us to stick to. And there's a couple front end documents that will be hard for us to hit the deadlines, but once we get into that live part, it should be pretty easy to.
Okay. Well done.
Always good
They
stuff.
could ask if you can do a digital signature on contracts and a digital attesting from the clerk. I said I would verify. I said, we've done it in the past. I think it's probably okay.
The mayor can sign digitally. I don't.
I just don't know. Oh, I'd rather know.
We get all these emails and Ed and I are like, is this real or is this not real? I don't know.
Watch out these days.
You really do. But anyhow, that's $882,000 grant that we've just received with a $92,700 local match. So
Pretty good.
that's a big win.
It's pretty good.
So good job, staff, on putting that together. Thank you. It's okay. I'm just going to sweep you all in. Well done, staff.
Just sharing the price.
Yeah. Trust me, you're sharing the load as well. So I threw under his bus. I said, oh, Chelsea will be on that call. She's probably sitting in the room going, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Anyhow. All right. I think that's it. Nothing. Oh, do we have to approve this?
Nope, because I don't have a contract.
I was going to say, there's no
First
approval.
wanted you to be aware.
All right, now.
Approve.
Yeah. F4, this is going to be a motion to establish that the Swingers Green plat was a preliminary plat. I think that's how you wanted the motion.
I
This is
I think that
We'll
was
get back.
the Par Avenue access was what we need to add.
Can I have a
Did I
motion?
butcher that?
I think.
Okay. I move that we approve access off of Par Avenue for the Swingers Green. I don't know what the lot was.
16, 15 and 16. Can't hurt.
Okay, 15 and 16.
Second. Moved by Councilwoman Boyce, seconded by Councilman Cosiba to approve the Parr Avenue access for lot 16, 15 and 16 of Swingers Green addition. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. I got a nod from the attorney. So yeah. All right, next up is ordinances. Yep. I just remembered I should have shared about our Chicago trip after council concerns.
Where you got time?
Okay, good. We didn't talk about that. Chelsea and I get to spend time in Chicago, but all right, ordinances, 733 on second read. This is an ordinance amending the definition of building height. I have a motion.
No discussion, I think.
I don't think there's any discussion.
Okay.
Second read.
I approve, or,
Yeah, I approve.
I'm just doing it. I move that we approve ordinance 733 on second read. An ordinance of the town of Pinedale, state of Wyoming, amending the definition of building height in chapter 475, article 2, section 475-11.
Second.
All right, moved by Councilman Swafford and seconded by Councilman Loftus to approve ordinance 733 on second read, an ordinance of the town of Pinedale amending the definition of building height in chapter 475, article 2, section 475-11. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0.
It was my Ron Burgundy moment.
It was fun. I'm glad that we can all kind of give each other a hard time. Unlike previous years. All right. Item number 2, this is ordinance 734 on its second read. This is titled multifamily development requirements.
I move that we approve ordinance 734 on second read, an ordinance of the town of Pinedale, state of Wyoming, amending chapter 475, article 29, section 475-244M, titled multifamily development requirements.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Boyce, seconded by Councilman Cosiba to approve ordinance 734 on its second read. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is ordinance resolution 2025-16. Resolution to place a proposition regarding a general purpose optional 1% county sales tax, either AKA fifth penny, on the ballot for the next election to be designated by the county, which we don't know when that might be, but it could be the next municipal election or not. We don't know. Is there a motion? Discuss, or we could discuss and look at a motion, however you want to do it.
I move that we approve resolution 2025-16, a resolution to place a proposition regarding a general purpose optional 1% county sales tax, AKA the fifth penny, on the ballot for the next election.
I'll second that.
All right, moved by Councilman Swafford, second by Councilman Loftus to approve the resolution 2025-16, fifth penny resolution for a ballot. All discussion.
This is just following up.
I just
our
wanted to slow
previous-
down.
Yeah.
So Ed,
conversations.
we know Big Piney has passed this, or Marbleton has passed this. One of them has already passed this. The other's probably doing it tonight.
I know Marbleton has passed. it.
Okay, Marbleton has
I
passed it.
want to verify that they passed.
Wording, right?
exactly what-
Yeah.
Let's put that in, maybe the attorney along with typos.
Did we correct the typos in our note?
We can't.
We did, okay.
Oh.
I'm like, that's what I was asking. Did we correct the typos? I would be shocked if Amy let a typo go through, but. So yeah, this has already been approved by Marbleton. All 3 towns have said they're going to. We will be in Labarge tomorrow at the Industrial Siting Commission's meeting to apply for the impact funds. There is about 7.5 million that will come to the county through the Impact Assistance Fund. If we do not have a fifth penny, we do not get that 7.5 million. This has nothing to do with Blue Spruce. I'm just going to say a couple things because I've gotten so many emails, and somebody can go back and watch YouTube and hear about this. This has nothing to do with Blue Spruce. This is what the state of Wyoming has created in the industrial siting. These are the industrial impacts, and the state has determined that there's about $15 million worth of impact because of the Blue Spruce helium plant that's going in there south of Big Piney. So Sublette County will qualify for at least 50%, 51%, something like that, of that 15 million, but only if we have the fifth penny. If we don't have the fifth penny, then our percentage would go to Lincoln County. Sweetwater and Uinta County are also getting some of that. In addition, there will be sales and use tax that comes off of the $400 million that they are roughly spending. So we will get that no matter what, whether we have a fifth penny or not. If we do have a fifth penny, we do get an additional about 3.5 million. So by passing the fifth penny, there's about $11 million that will come into the county that would be distributed amongst the different parties. The sheriff's department will be getting hopefully a new vehicle. I know the hospital's putting some stuff in there. I forget everything that you asked for, Sheriff, but it'll be a good thing. Additionally, the fifth penny, just for people's sake, is that currently the state of Wyoming, to our chagrin, takes 69% of our local tax to Cheyenne and leaves only 31% behind. So the fifth penny will nearly double Pinedale's general fund revenue. So that general fund, so people do oftentimes think that the county gives money. I've heard people saying they're upset because why the county doesn't need more money. What they don't realize is the towns don't get money from the county unless we're doing a joint project together. This is actually will double our general fund revenue, which we can then use for chip seal and other projects that we are looking at doing that we have gone down in time doing. So
things that we've cut off recently.
costs have gone up. We used to be able to do about a fifth of the town of Pinedale chip seal for 500,000, and now we're doing Bloomfield edition with $400,000. So it costs more to do the same amount. So we're doing less. So anyhow, all that to say is the fifth penny will be going on the ballot. It does require the county commissioners agree. So the county commissioners will still vote. And if the county commissioners, I did look this up, and the county commissioners could vote, even though the three towns have passed it and asked the commission to put it on the ballot, they could. Now, otherwise, it's 5% of the population that could put it on the ballot, if I remember correctly. So if for some reason our county commissioners decide to vote against this, the population could rise up and say, we still want to do this, and then it would be on the ballot. I'm proposing the next municipal election, as frightening as that is, as somebody who's coming up for election. But it seems like the cheapest way to do a vote. That way we won't have to have two special elections, but that's going to be up to the county commissioner and the county clerk. Are there any other questions about this that somebody would like to ask? Because I'm getting lots of questions.
So it's not for certain yet that it would be on the municipal?
It is not for certain whether it'll be on the ballot, and it is not for certain whether it would be at the municipal election. The county could decide to put it in January. I think there's like a 4-month period they have to do advertising. So there's a minimum amount of time. They couldn't do it any sooner than like February, if I remember.
It would make sense just to put them all in the same.
Seems to me. So, and I forget if Marbleton and Piney and Pinedale have the same municipal election.
Good, no one there.
I think we're always a little bit.
At least one of them does not.
Right. So I think one of them is the same, but anyhow, that's where it is. Any other questions? Comments? Criticism? Oh, I did the math because we've done all the affordable housing work. And according to what I've noticed, there are 57 sales tax exemptions. So food, for example, you don't pay a sales tax on. And according to the calculations that we've done, the average resident of Sublette County or Pinedale will pay about $275 more in taxes with the fifth penny based on. So it's not a big lift. And if it does go to the oil and gas industry, then generally ad valorem taxes will probably be amended so that it should help the oil and gas, the extraction industry as well. So they probably won't pick up the full cost of it as well. Is that a fair assessment?
I think so, yes.
I am neither advocating or encouraging you to vote for it. However, let it be known, we could use the money. All right.
The commissioners like money.
Yeah, you know. All right, all those, so it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of passing resolution 25/2016, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries 5-0. All right, if anybody has any further questions, please let us know. All right, next item are department reports. We'll begin with the municipal court. Each one. Comments? Onwards. Next, we'll go to the animal control, municipal code officer. As you know, Michelle was out for a little while, so we had Mr. Lasiki serving us in that role for a period of time. 14 cats impounded. Cats need to be spayed, don't you agree, Mr. Sheriff?
Yeah, most of those were abandoned on.
Yes. That we've actually have a situation where people are abandoning cats out on the mesa and then they're multiplying out there. So, I saw a cat, where was I hiking the other day? And I saw a cat run by and I was like shocked. Like, I didn't know cats could live out here. Maybe not for very long, I have no idea. But all right, 4-trap skunks. I guess it was near our neighborhood, Peggy. So I can't smell anything anymore. So long haul COVID. My wife's like skunk. I'm like, I have no idea. All right, H3. This is Public Works. Any questions for Public Works? Otherwise, I'm going to ask Abe to point out what we have forgotten to ask about.
I should have waited till the report before I asked about the water and sewer. So sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
No, my bad.
That's good. I think it was that. Chelsea and I did get to go to Chicago, reimbursed by the National League of Cities for our $20,000 digital permitting grant. Good time was had by all.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. Yeah. So it was actually very interesting. I think, say what you want to say. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but when I was talking to one city and they have to translate everything they do into Bengali, Arabic, English, and I forget what the fourth language was, I was like, I'm glad we don't have to do that. Someplace in Michigan. But we did point out, and I thought this is something that we're probably going to do, is that I think even though sometimes we speak English, we may not understand the same term, what that term means. So we might eventually create a glossary on our website so that if somebody wants to know what a word means, they can find it, because that was something that came out in our discussions. But anyway, it was very interesting. All right, any other, Abe, what would you like to call attention to?
Well, I got a few things, Mr. Mayor and Council. Number one is that first item on their shallow water main. I have been promised that the project will be done at the end of this week. I don't that to be true. I don't believe it necessarily, but our no date is going into effect at the end of this week. And so I do have a couple of contractors talking to me about maybe doing some extensions, not this one. It's not asking for any extensions, no dig, but I'm guessing I'll be coordinating with you, Mr. Mayor, on no dig extensions for a couple minor right-of-way projects as we get into November. But other than that, the shallow water main, I'm really hoping, I've had to make more phone calls in the last week than I have for most of the project, of people asking why is it not done, when is this going to get fixed in my house, et cetera. And so Anthony is doing his best to push that along. And the crew on site right now, I think, is doing a fairly decent job. I just got a fair bit of cleanup items to do. So if there's anything in front of your homes or in that subdivision that doesn't ring true, please contact staff immediately and we'll take care of it. We did receive comments back from the federal government on our Safe Street and Roads for All application for the High Street Pedestrian Safety Project. We had a rounding error in one of our documents that made a $20 difference in our ask compared to other paperwork in the application. It was our only error. We got that corrected. They gave us the opportunity to correct it and got that sent back. So we are hearing progress on it. I hope that it means positive things. It hasn't been rejected at this point. We did meet with YDOT on the Pine Street project. It's probably the best meeting we've had with YDOT in 5 years. YDOT has agreed to design and build the bulb outs regardless if the grant funding is received by Safe Streets and Roads in the downtown corridor. So they are redesigning their downtown corridor to reflect some of the changes and pedestrian safety improvements and those identified in the master plan in their project. Now, obviously, if we get the money, they would like us to
Contribute.
the money to the table. We talked about a couple of the other scope items in there, the underpass, the pathway improvements to the south side of town, and like the center island, if you will, at American Legion, some of those areas. And the two outer extents of town, we said we would add those if we got the funding. I told them that the center island on Legion is probably something you guys would like to proceed forward with regardless if we receive the funding or not. So they're building and designing that as well. And then there's some minor things throughout the quarter. We went block by block through the plan sets. There was, I don't know, should I say 15 of us in the room? Were you there? Yeah. There's like 15 YDOT folks in the room as we went through it. It was a very positive meeting. We have until Wednesday this week to go through the meeting notes and make sure we got all of our comments listened to and heard. But I think it's all heading in a very positive direction. And so when that project happens in 2028, I think we're going to see positive changes that reflect a lot of the asset of our pedestrian safety project, regardless if we can bring additional funding to the table or not. On that same project, I have been in negotiations. So Jorgensen's kind of helping with all of that since they did the ped safety project, helping us supplement all the information we can to RIDOT to help the design team. And then we've been in touch with Rio Verde Engineering. If you guys recall back in 2020-ish, not sure if it's 2020 or 2021, when the YDOT thought they were going to get stimulus money, we signed an ARS to do sewer repairs under Pine Street at that point in time. We signed that ARS with YDOT, and then we hired Rio Verde to help us with the design of the underground sewer. The project has never really progressed where we've been able to say this is what we need and can get done. This is the exact format we need for YDOT. It has gotten to that point. I've asked Rio Verde, let's just get rid of the old contract, enter into a new contract, outlining all the scope requirements for the sewer, plus these water service lines that we have identified as old service lines under Pine Street. And so we can get that kind of shovel ready and into the plan set with YDOT. And so by the next meeting, I'm hoping to have you guys a revised contract from Rio Verde to complete that engineering work. Their scope will be all of the design to YDOT standards, kind of dumped into the YDOT plan set as schedule, I don't know, call it schedule A, B, and C, right? Additional schedules, and they'll be coordinated with YDOT to get that done. So you can expect to see that contract in the next few weeks. And then I think all the rest of the updates are fairly clear in there. So if you have other questions,
Good job.
That all about, that's cool.
That's it. Yeah, I'm really, I know some people didn't like it, but man, people were walking the street and people pulling out so you could take a left-hand turn and see just everybody.
Yeah, you can't see. I was like 90-10, 80-20 on the amount of people that are for it versus against it.
Yeah. It's just,
And the people that were against it were a little jokey about it, but they said they didn't like pedestrians is what they said, so.
oh, go ahead. They didn't like the mayor. They kept on trying to hurt you. What you're trying to say, I get it.
they are trying to think of them as.
We could guess it, probably 3 guesses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They keep on circling around Maybell and Pine,
It keeps
just
trying.
waiting. Sheriff, I might need I might need a bodyguard. over there.
Waiting for Gordo.
Sounds like a private company.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Just waiting for your office door to open.
All right, next item is travel and tourism.
Yep, recently had a meeting, last week. Let's see, get that one down there, sorry. Maureen did point out that she thinks, there's either a longer delay than what we're used to with the state in releasing their funds to us directly, or there's something else in the calculation that might be off, but she was going to be checking on that before our next meeting. Because to start the year, or the fiscal year rather, we're a little bit further down than I think what we would anticipate and even what we were last year. So that's probably the main thing to point out. Yeah, everything else is pretty much the normal course of business.
Thanks for doing it. Any questions for travel and tourism? All right, next item is going to be routine business. First is going to be the presentation of the bills.
I move that we approve the bills for October 27, 2025 in the amount of $54,984.38, paid with checks 31881 through 31916.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman Boyce, second by Councilman Kusiba, to approve the bills for October 27, 2025 in the amount of $54,984.38 with checks 31881 through 31916. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Final motion or final action is the payroll for the month.
I move that we approve payroll and benefits for October 31st, 2025.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilwoman Boyce and second by Councilman Casiva to approve payroll and benefits for October 31st, 2025. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And one of our council meetings, final motion.
Move to adjourn. I'll second.
Moved by Councilman Swafford, second by Councilman Loftus, that we adjourn at 5:50 PM. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everyone, for coming. You're running out. Bye.